So, this is the new helmet. It is a visor style helm. It has chain link to prevent debris and other such things from coming up underneath it. It is a visor style nasal helm. It locks in the open position and in the closed position. I have a very good field of vision in this, so my vision's not distorted at all when I'm wearing this, which helps out tremendously. And if I do need a larger field of view, I can always open it up. It does leave me more exposed at the throat, but when I have it in the down position, as you can see, there's not much room for people to get in there, to get to the throat or under the jaw or under the armor, which is always a large bonus. I still need to make... Thank you. So, it is a visor helm that locks open or closed. It's got chain linking to stop stuff from coming up from under into the eyes. It is fully functional, solid as a rock. When I have it in the down position, it's locked. When I have it in the up position, it's also locked, which is nice. This gives me a little bit of a better field of view, whereas this gives me a pretty good field of vision because this has peripheral slits, essentially, and it's actually quite breathable. Thank you. Exactly. Very fantasy. It's a nasal helm with my own touches added to the visor. We've got the Avantail, as you would imagine, that goes on there, and I'm going to think of a way to do some type of strapping to close up the throat once I put it on, but make it to where I can still put it on easily. But I mean, when I have the visor down, the throat is not that exposed, and all of it tapers towards the rest of the arm, so it'd be actually quite hard to get in there. I didn't make the Avantail or the nasal myself. I made the visor part myself, which I will be having a video on doing, as I tend to do, to show you guys how I made that. But I just figured I'd give a quick update on the armor set. Just use string or something to close the mail. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, is some type of like leather string tie, you know, like lacing almost, or a buckle or two. A buckle or two would look just as good, but something like that to hold it all together much better. I still have the lower torso, this is actually my waist right here, right where this ends, but I still have to build something on the lower section of the front and back, which is going to be attached to the main body of this chainmail, and then I need to build some leg armor and some gauntlets as well. I'm also thinking of building some additions to the pauldrons to make them a little longer, just to help this armor set reach completion. But this is kind of where it sits now, because I picked up the helm, not the visor part, again, just the nasal helm at the Ren Fair, and the Avantail. I went ahead and I linked the Avantail into the helmet as well, which allows it to kind of free float around my neck instead of sitting directly on it, so that'll help keep cool when I'm out doing Ren Fairs and whatnot. And if I need to, I can always open it up. But yeah, the chainmail cuirass, or the chainmail body, was my doing. The pauldrons were my doing. The leather work was my doing. The only thing that wasn't my doing was the Avantail and the nasal. But I'm pretty pleased with how it's coming together. And I think that the helmet looks rather cool. What do you guys think of the design for the visor helm? Like, do you guys think that it is too big, too much? Especially once I get the plate going on and stuff like that. But yeah, do you guys think that once I add some more plates to the shoulder bits and the gauntlets, that it'll still be oversized? Because I think that those will really help get the design down to size. Thank you for all of the faces. Oh my gosh. Ah! I love it. I absolutely love it. Thank you for that. Guys, please go ahead and like the stream and share the stream out so we can break 4,000 subs. If you haven't subbed and you're watching this stream, that means you probably like this kind of stuff. So go ahead and subscribe. I am a bladesmith/blacksmith, and I've been working on this set of armor for a couple of months now, getting it pieced together bit by bit. So that's going to be one of the main projects that you guys are going to see a good amount of progress on in future videos. I do have the sword that I'm actually going to be carrying when I go to Ren fairs, but I'm going to have to put it in a sheath that allows me to strap lock it so it can't be drawn, and I'm going to have this very fantasy. It's going to be on my back, and I'm going to carry a shield. That way, you know, for photo opportunities and things like that, it'll look rather cool. We have our black mental bracers, which are solid steel, hardened steel plate. There's a video coming out on these as well, if it hasn't already dropped. I can't remember if it has or not. But yeah, this is what I was working on today, was getting this visor created for the helmet. It has kind of like a beard shape to it, almost an aggressive bearded shape, very tapered, very angular, so that way it can deflect things nicely, all that jazz. Took me a little while to make this visor for it, and I gave it these floret rivets just for aesthetic purposes. Kind of, you know, little touches that are eventually going to make this whole set stand out as my own, so to speak. But this is going to be a shorter stream. I just wanted to see if I could pop on and show you guys the updates. I'm not heading out just yet. I was hoping to chit chat with a few of you guys about the armor, but it doesn't look like many people are kind of throwing words out my way, which is saddening to me. I was hoping this would do better. You can see we've got the peeled back edges around the eye slits to prevent things from coming up and in this way. We've got the eye visor section of the nasal. So we've got good protection in this armor. It is more of a warrior armor, kind of a medium armor set rather than a heavy armor set, which is kind of what I was going for, because I don't want to have to haul around 100 pounds plus of plate all day. I would much rather wear my chainmail with some plate accents where it's more likely to be struck. I am definitely going to be doing something with the pauldrons. I may do more leather work with them, the extended pieces. First time I was shot out of a cannon. Damn. That sounds like fun. I would like to be shot out of a cannon, but I don't think that I have the appropriate tire. You probably need like a fire suit or something like that. That's pretty funny. But the sword that I'm going to be carrying is actually the one that you guys saw, the big project with the 3-leaf guard, the longsword rapier hybrid that I have. So let me go grab that really quick so I can show you guys the sword that this is going to be paired with. So this sword, which is one that I made, is what I'm going to have paired with this armor set, and I'm either going to have it, I know ahistorically, but on the back somehow, or I'm going to have it on the hip, which is more proper. It is just a very large sword, so it would tend to swing a lot and bounce around. So it just depends on how much work I want to put into the scabbard. But this sword, which is a needle-like rapier longsword hybrid, is the sword that will be paired with this armor set. It is a one-hand sword that is light enough to be wielded in one hand, but just heavy enough to be wielded in two hands, and comfortably at that. So we've got a pretty nice setup going on, all things considered. Like I said, I will eventually make a shield to go with this as well. It's probably going to be a plank shield or some type of wooden shield to go with this set as well. I don't know how much the helm is muffling things for you guys. Go ahead and let me know if it's more muffled or if I sound different when I have the helmet on. Whoa, that was some weird lighting. But I can tell when I have the helmet on, I hear more of myself and I am slightly muffled. So I can imagine that I'm going to be having trouble hearing some things when I'm wearing this, but that's fine. At Ren Fairs, muffling out some of the white noise is never a problem. You guys can see I've got breathing holes and breathing slits all throughout this bit as well, and I left it pretty rough. The reason I left it rough like that is I wanted it to look kind of beat up, war-torn, because as you guys saw with the bracers, I did the same thing, kind of some scuff-ups on them. So this is going to look like a haggard soldier's set. I want this to look like the soldier that's been in a few altercations and kept the same armor. If you guys haven't seen it already, there is some short video of me fighting a knight. He was I believe it was Invictus fight group Boohurt guy, and obviously he was taking it easy on me, but we had ourselves a fun little duel for fun. There was a fight a knight thing at the Renaissance Fair, and that's what I did. I saw fight a knight, and I was like, oh my god, I must. So wearing my chainmail and my Avantail and my bracers, they had me wear a great helm and some gauntlets, and gave me a sword and a shield, and let me go about a minute long round with him. And man, you would be amazed at how exhausting it is to fight in armor. I do martial arts. I've done martial arts since I was a child, but when you strap 60 plus extra pounds to your body and then attempt to do the same thing while swinging a 3-pound sword and a 4-pound shield, it's something entirely different. It's a different set of circumstances, I would say. It definitely changes how things function. That's for certain. But as you can see, the Avantail does not limit my mobility at all to move my neck. My shoulders are still free to move under the pauldrons. Everything is quite mobile. This is designed to be a very mobile armor set for the weight that it has and the protection that it offers. But I just wanted to give you guys... What? Loved the Tekken video. Your armor reminds me of Soul Calibur. Faizueli. I don't speak French. I'm sorry, I don't understand. Loved the Tekken vid. Thank you, thank you. It is kind of Soul Calibur-esque. Kind of like going for like Undead Soldier kind of thing, but before the fall of Londor. If you get that reference, you're probably a Dark Souls fan like myself. But yeah. This has definitely been a fun project, getting this visor made and assembled. And yeah, so next steps, like I went over, pauldrons, gauntlets, leg armor, waist armor, boots, things like that to put this, the rest of the way on. It is already coming together quite well, and right now it sits at about probably 40-50 pounds total. It's pretty heavy armor. Which is nothing to scoff at when it comes to weight. Walking around in this all day is definitely tiring. I was at the Renaissance Fair for like 7.5 hours yesterday, and I can tell you as a fact it was quite exhausting to walk around in 80-degree temperatures wearing all of this on top of the medieval clothing. Oh, yeah, Tekken moveset IRL. Which one was it? Which character was it? I've done several different characters of the Tekken ones. I'm just gonna put this sword away real quick. Give me a moment. The Jin one. Oh yeah, Jin Kazama was a good one. Jin Kazama had a lot of actually very viable stuff. Lars Alexanderson. Oh man, that was the most frustrating video I've ever done, was the Lars one, just because he's so unrealistic and so... He turns his back way too much, for one. For two, he over-rotates everything. It's a mess. He's very anime. I think the only guys that main him are probably ones that haven't seen Bahubes, if you understand the meaning. But how's everybody's day been? How's everybody's Memorial Day weekend been treating them? You've been having a good time? Hanging out with friends, family, things like that? Or were you like me and hit up the Renaissance Fair and got some new armor and assembled it into a improved version of the original? Maybe if I put on some gloves, people will think that I'm fully kitted. I bottled my Dandelion wine, all in a good weekend. Yes, Dandelion wine. That sounds delicious. How does one make dandelion wine? Do you just take dandelions and ferment them, or is it a more complex process? This I would like to know. This sounds like something I would be interested in. The goal is, on this stream though, to reach 4,000 subs, so if you haven't subbed already, please do so. I am trying to break the 4,000 mark with this live stream. I think we're 5 people away before I started the stream, so we are 5 subs short of 4,000, which has been a goal of mine for several years. So if you guys haven't subscribed, please do so. Give the soldier a favor and reward him for his hard work. Subscribe with the button on the subscribey button. Do it. Easy to make. Just the tops and yeast and then sugar. 2 weekends, then rest another 2 or longer, then enjoy. Interesting. So I'm assuming I can find recipes for this dandelion wine of which you speak on the YouTubes. So I'm probably going to be looking that up after I end this stream, because that sounds like something I could do, because in Utah we get dandelions everywhere. Just everywhere. It is so common to see them in people's yards and in my own yard. Yes, all are about the same. Awesome. Good to know. I look forward to hearing more about this and seeing more about this. This sounds like a good time. But if you guys have already been subscribers of this channel for a while, you guys know I am a blacksmith. So let's flip things around so you guys can see the blacksmith shop. Let's see here. Maybe angle it a little bit. And then turn this off. Ooh, that got dark and dreary. Yeah, we're gonna have to leave that light on. That's for sure. Or else it just gets way too dark. Yeah, I was able to pretty much do everything for this at the anvil. I did some stuff at the vise, but yeah, most of this construction was just done at the anvil cold. I didn't even heat it up. Most of the work was just cold working this piece of metal. I'll actually grab one of the other lids so I can show you guys what this looked like before I forged it into this. Well, not even forged, I just cold worked it. So I don't think I could call it forging. But this is how my visor started. I used this, cut it off about here's, and then cut these critters off of it and formed it into what you see now. All of it was done cold, like I said, so it wasn't exactly the most difficult thing for somebody like myself that's been doing blacksmithing for about 5 years to do. It was more of just a time-consuming thing to go from this to this. But I mean, it worked out really well. It is ever so slightly uneven here. It drops a little bit on this side because of the shaping. I didn't shape it quite perfectly evenly on the cone here, but it was my first time making a visor to a helmet, so I forgive myself. I'm not too mad about it. I was able to do quite a bit in terms of getting this done, and I did it in 2-3 hours in one day. So you can't ask for more than that when you're going from something like this to something like this. Do you guys think I should do metal for the pauldrons extensions? Because I'm thinking of bringing them down to about here, having a piece that connects to this and hangs off, or a couple pieces of leather possibly. I just haven't quite figured out what I want to do in terms of the finished shoulder padding. I have tassels around the waist, which is going to go over top of whatever waist armor I make, because this is, like I said, this is where my waist starts. Like, my belt is right here, so my waist starts right there. So these tassels are going to go over top of whatever I make in terms of like an arming belt or a lower body cuirass of some kind for the waist, a waistcoat or something. And then I'm also going to be doing leg armor and that kind of stuff for it as well. And obviously when I wear this to the Ren Fair, I'm not going to be wearing, you know, modern day clothing. I'm going to be wearing the peasant's clothing that you guys saw in the video that I was fighting the knight in. Leather wouldn't slow you down as much. That's true. That's true. And it's already quite heavy armor. So, oh, what the heck? Let's see if I can take these gloves off and see if that helps. There we go. Let's take you guys out to a little bit better of lighting because this is ridiculous. Ah, that's better. You can see things a little bit better here. The lighting's a little bit more on my side. However, the ground is not. Very uneven ground. There we go. But I mean, I'm not restricted right now in terms of movement, so I mean, metal could be cool, but leather would be a lot less weight, and it would probably be easier and faster to do. So I'm probably going to do leather. Just because there's not very many leather accents to the armor at the moment. It's all metal for the most part, except for like right there. Would also match the leather on the chainmail. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, because it's around that same area, and then from the side view you get the nice leather on leather look. I dig that. I dig that idea quite a bit actually. I think that you may have given me an idea for what I'm going to do. Binha Musica. Thank you for the medal. Is that what that is? That looks like a medal. I will take the medal. I will take the medal. I will take the trophy. I'll take it all. Thank you. if you guys can see it, I don't know if you can see it while you're in the stream, but if we do happen to break 4,000 subs while we're on this stream, please comment down below and let me know so I can celebrate with you guys. Because this is, I think, the 4th year of me doing YouTube. That's a pretty cool helmet. Thank you. Thank you. Joey the Roach. Ooh, intimidating. So I made, I don't know if you know, but I made the chainmail cuirass, the pauldrons, and made the visor for this helmet. I did not make the nasal helm, so the helmet itself and the nasal. Didn't make that part, but I did make the visor part. This guy right here. I just cold worked it, so I made that visor section, which as you can see is pretty good protection in terms of neck and cheeks and all that stuff. And I can look around pretty good with it. And it does, as you saw, lock open in the open position, which allows me to just have that nasal and that wider field of view, as well as stay a little cooler. Didn't make the Avantail, but I did chain the Avantail into the helm all the way around, and then made these little decorative rivets for this to pivot on. If you're wondering how this is locking open, it's actually using this ridge right here and this lip right here. It's formed just tight enough to where the ridge of this sits on top of that, well, that lip sits right on top of that ridge and holds it in position. I mean, I can shake my head all over the place and it's not coming down. So it's very securely affixed, but if I just grab it and pull, it will come down too. Feeling very hungry. What should we eat? I got a bow. We can go get some venison. Something like that. Go make some venison. Get some elk. Get some deer. Something like that. Can't survive on rabbit alone, my good man. Do you go to the Renaissance fairs? Yes. I was at the Ren Fair yesterday. If you go on my channel and you watch the last short, I believe it's still the last short that went up. I may be mistaken. But it is one of the most recent shorts to have gone up. And it is a video of me at the Renaissance Fair yesterday fighting with a knight. He was from Invictus Buhurt Fighting Group. And he was doing a fight a knight kind of thing. So I got to fight him in my armor. I borrowed a great helm, some gauntlets and things like that, and I was able to have a little 1-minute round with him and have some fun. 2 groschen for venison. That's, not sure what a groschen is, but I'm not sure whether that's expensive or whether that's cheap. But we'll say it's cheap. We'll say it's a good deal. I mean, unless you would like to satiate yourself on the blood of your enemies, that's going to cost you more than 2 groschen. Sir Capone. Like Al Capone? I have not. The guy's name was Christopher, so he was a knight, so we called him Sir Christopher. He was part of Invictus. Is Capone, are you referencing Al Capone, or are you talking about an actual guy whose last name is Capone that is part of Invictus or another fight group? I'm not familiar with the name. I live in Puerto Rico. Renaissance. It's not very popular here, but I only came here to retire. Oh, man. That's cool, though, Puerto Rico. You should have bet him. If you beat him, you get his spot on the team. No, he's a professional Buhurt fighter, and I am a martial artist. The two are not the same. He has Hans Capone. I'll have to look into him. I'm not familiar with the name, but I'll definitely look into Hans Capone or Capone to see who that is after the stream for sure. Do you loot corpses to find armor? If only my enemies were brave enough to offer themselves in battle. I definitely would if they were brave enough to offer themselves in battle. However, most of my enemies can't even walk up a flight of stairs, let alone walk 10 minutes wearing a set of chainmail. So, there is that. My horse is named Pebbles. He's a fine steed. Pebbles. Is he fruity? Is he cocoa-y? Is he brown? Is he red? Because you have a good opportunity for a cereal joke here. You could call him Fruity Pebbles. Or Cocoa Pebbles. Had a bearded dragon named Coco Gray. I can see why you named him Pebbles. Does he have white spots? Is he like speckled and spotted? Like a lot of those kind of gray horses? What's going on, RV? Just got this bad boy finished up. It's a visored nasal helm, my guy. So I got the nasal helm at the Ren Fair, and then I built a visor for it that can lock in position on the open side or on the closed side. I've been telling these people it gives me good protection, and I'm going to be making some upgrades. How many humans have you felled in battle? Yeah, so I didn't make basically this portion and this portion I didn't make. This I did make. I didn't make the Avantail, which is this guy that goes over top and connects, but I did connect it. I did make the visor, and then I did make the rest of the armor that you're seeing. So the cuirass, the pauldrons, the bracers, I did make all this. So basically the only thing I didn't make was the Avantail and the nasal helm part of the helmet. The rest was all me. I told you I'm working on a whole set of armor, man. I still got, yeah. So many rings, yes. Yes, that is why I bought the Avantail, actually, because I made all the cuirass armor that you see, which was a lot of freaking chainmail, somewhere in the neighborhood of like 10,000 links or something like that. And then I saw the Avantail for sale, and the guy was only charging 38 bucks. So I swooped on that, and then this guy had the nasal helm on sale for 80 bucks instead of 200, because it'd been sitting in the Ren Fair and it had a little bit of rust on it, and he'd rather sell it than clean it up. So I bought it off him for 80 and cleaned it up myself and added the visor portion to it and attached the chainmail Avantail into the helmet itself. So it's been a lot of work, a lot of tedious work, and a lot of fun work, just depending on what I'm making. The bracers were a pretty fun project too. Solid, heavy-duty steel bracers. Eventually we're going to do gauntlets, we're going to do waist armor, we're going to do leg armor, we're going to do boots, we're going to do a shield, we're going to do, well, we already did the sword, but we're going to do a scabbard for the sword so we can carry the sword with us at the next Ren Fair next year. Corona warrior. I've seen and slain many Karens. They told me to wear a mask, so I devised a mask that they would fear. Something like that, right? That's what you're getting at? Boss? Boss of what? The best advice to sit us armor and grocery. The best advice to sit aside a well-worn trail, attack nobles, and acquire their armor. Ah, yes. Flex my bicep. Why? It's under padding. You're not going to be able to see my arms. You're not going to be able to see my bicep very well. Use pocket sand. Ah, pocket sand! Yes. The trickster's way of life. Pocket sand is always a good answer, especially to opponents more skilled than oneself. Well, I'm a blacksmith. I'm a bladesmith. I've been doing martial arts since I was 8. Take a guess. Right now I'm wearing about 70 pounds, and I've been wearing, well, no, right now I'm wearing about 60 pounds. And yesterday I was wearing this all over the Ren Fair, so. I'll just settle for a like on the video, and we can call it even. But this is the main attraction for today. This guy right here, the visor portion of the helm and the Avantail going together. Roughly 60 pounds, yeah. The helmet and Avantail alone are close to 20 pounds. The rest of the armor is close to another 25, so that's about 55 pounds right there. And then, you know, I haven't weighed everything precisely, but it's probably closer to the 60-pound range now that I added the visor, because the helm and Avantail together were 20 pounds before I put this on, and this weighed about 2 pounds. So we're probably close to the 57 to 60 mark, somewhere in there at the moment. And this armor set is far from complete. I still have to do a waist section, leg armor, things of that nature. The armor set's probably going to come out somewhere in the neighborhood of 90 to 110 pounds. It's going to be quite heavy and quite hot to walk around in, but I mean, I was walking around in this for 4 or 5 hours at the Ren Fair with my wife yesterday, and then I fought a knight, which was quite fun. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of stuff my whole life. I'm very lean. I never tried to bulk up. I mean, I can bench more than my body weight by a significant margin. I have been training a lot, and I'm more in the neighborhood of a cardio, stamina, and snap reflex kind of guy. I did a lot of strike fighting and some ground fighting, so. I was expecting you to kick that guy in the face during the battle. That footwork was fancy. Yeah, well, I mean, they didn't allow me to throw kicks, so I would have. I would have definitely kicked if I was allowed to, but no kicks were allowed. I weigh 155. So I'm 155 pounds without the armor. With the armor, I'm at about 210 right now. So I'm carrying probably a third of my body weight, somewhere in there, extra. And it ain't bad. I mean, I can still run in it, you know? I can still move in it. I can still box in it. All that kind of stuff, so it doesn't affect my movement enough or hinder me enough to where I can't really do what I want to do. But yeah, if you want to see something fun, John, one of my most recent short videos that went up, probably the second or third video from the live one right now, is a video of me fighting with a knight in full armor, and that man was in probably close to 150 pounds, 200 pounds of armor, and he was just laying into me with that mace. But it was fun, nonetheless. It was a heck of a lot of fun. Sometimes you just got to get out there and fight a knight. Maybe I should grab a weapon. Yeah, the K-bar. That one was actually for my. Huh? What's the most weight you lifted not in the gym, like in person, like they do in CrossFit, like a heavier person? Well, I mean, one of my buddies weighs like 250, something like that, and I can pick him up and throw him around. I mean, it's all a matter of mechanics and leverage when it comes to picking people up and throwing them, especially like double leg takedowns and stuff. You're not really lifting as much as you are using momentum and leverage to your advantage. Like a lot of fighting. I mean, like my anvil alone weighs 250 pounds, and I picked that sucker up all the way. Judo. Judo is good. I was more of a jiu-jitsu guy myself. I never trained judo. Oh yeah, yeah. 250-pound person ain't that hard to lift, man. You just have to know how to do it. it's not that hard at all to lift somebody that big. That's the thing, is like bodybuilders and stuff, they get up into like the 200, 250, 300 pound, they think that they're huge and they're all muscle, that a guy my size couldn't take them down has obviously never tried jiu-jitsu a day in their life, because you don't have to lift them to get them on the ground, and once they're on the ground, you have the advantage. Oh yeah, absolutely. It's not that difficult. I mean, I'm probably saying that in terms of like, I mean, from my perspective, I mean, I've done this stuff since I was a little boy. I was 8 years old, so I kind of grew into doing all this kind of stuff. I flex, and it depends on whether I've got pump going on or not, right? Like, if I'm just doing like this and I'm not doing something where my muscles are going to get pumped up, my arms are kind of thinner. But when I'm blacksmithing and stuff, if I flex, my biceps are rather large. I mean, you can see it goes from skinny, and you can see my bicep underneath that. But stop eating soy. I do not eat soy. Soy is very bad for testosterone. Is that helm Eastern? It is a European helm with a Eastern-inspired kind of fantasy visor. So the visor locks up in the open position. It's a nasal helm. It's a European nasal helm. But when you drop this down, you get a full-size kind of bearded helm. Kind of reminiscent of a Centurion helm, but not quite. More based off of Eastern influence, yes. I made the visor for this myself. It was a modification to this. I'm not familiar. I don't do CrossFit. CrossFit's kind of a different thing. Like over your shoulder and walk, like fireman's carry. So like over both shoulders, like Suchley, or fireman's carry, because either way, you can still get a person like that up on your shoulders. I mean, there are throws that involve throwing them that way. Double leg takedowns, basically picking them up on one shoulder. It's not much of a difference. Yeah, I mean, I've done it to my buddy. He was making a joke that I'm the thinnest one in the group, and challenged me to pick him up, and I picked him up over my shoulder and carried him across his apartment once. So, I mean, not that big of a deal. Yeah, judo also has different throws. There's the one where you get a hold of the arm, you drop levels on one side to create a space that is lower than their center of mass. Twist the shoulder into it, and they flip over top of the shoulder. I've seen that one done in tournament before, and that knocked the wind out of the dude that got taken down by it. Swing some blades, as requested. I want a 250-pound person, not a throw, but a hold and carry. I'm not sure how long I'd be able to carry, but yeah. I mean, I could definitely carry him at least a few yards. I'm not sure how many yards, but I haven't ever tested that theory. But I mean, somebody my own size, it's easy enough to do. Yeah, this is one of the medieval style Scandinavian swords that I have. It was one that I refurbished a while back. Got it at a yard sale for super cheap. It was in horrible condition. And yeah, fixed it up. So this is not the sword I'm pairing with this armor. This is not the sword I'm pairing with it, but this is one of the swords that I considered pairing with this armor. I still need to make a shield as well, which is going to be another kind of heavy piece of equipment that's going to go with this. But, you know, we've got really good mobility in this armor. It's not going to limit me in any form or fashion from fighting with a sword. I have videos of me doing some leg exercises. I have videos of me hitting my heavy bag, which was a 300-pound heavy bag, which is broken now. And I've got a video coming on the whole dilemma with that, because I've been trying to get another 300-pound heavy bag, and you have no idea how hard it is to find a bag that is rated for 300 pounds that is not insanely expensive. That's the whole point, man. That's the whole point. That's one of the things that I love about, you know, not bulking up and just getting strength training, is you get underestimated, and underestimated is my favorite thing to be. I'd rather be underestimated than overestimated any day of the week. My favorite thing is somebody telling me I can't do something just so I can show them that I can. But I mean, believe what you want to believe. If you want to believe that I can't do it, that's fine in my book. If you want to believe I can, cool too. Heavy bag? Yeah. How much is yours weigh though? Do you know if it's 100, 200? Like what's the weight on your heavy bag, RV? Definitely need to touch up the edge and the tip on this. There's a little bit of rust and a couple of deflections from previous cutting. £200? Yeah. And there is a big difference between a 2 and a 300 pound when it comes to the bag surviving, because the straps like to rip. Not believing. Huh. Cool. Whatever floats your goat, I guess. But yeah, I mean, martial arts is a whole lot of fun. And I did that a lot growing up. I did Taekwondo, then I did Muay Thai, then I did Jiu-Jitsu and boxing. So I've been around the block a few times. Dang, found it just sitting. Man, rich people throw out the coolest stuff. That's why I like to go on yard sales near rich neighborhoods, because they have the best plunder. But I have been streaming for about 48 minutes, almost 49. My bag only weighs half ounce. Heh, 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 heh. Arr, ye plunder. Half ounce bag. He's talking about grass and not the kind you mow, folks. I'm gonna put this sword away. £250 person. Oh shit. That was the... Grab the Sarcasmax. The 250-pound person. Yeah, when his feet left the ground, his first words were, oh shit. And then his second words were, don't drop me, don't drop me. These are two swords that I did create, though. This is the one that is going to be paired with this armor set. And then this is the one that I initially wanted to pair with it, but I just don't feel like it fits the Danax. I don't have a big boy Danax. I have a small handheld Danax, but I can go grab that out here in a sec. But these are the two swords that I have considered pairing with it. As you can see, they're both leaf guards on both of them. This is a wood two-piece handle construction, thinner blade, more of a slasher than a thruster, very choppy kind of sword, whereas this one is a much thinner sword, more designed for cut and thrust. Definitely a lethal thruster because the point on that is rather stout and thick. It's designed to go through chainmail and out the other side, which also has leaves, has a nice little thumb ring, so we can present that in the front and have this in the back, so we can thrust to deter while we slash. And we can also cut with it to keep the opponent at distance. Oh no, he definitely was shocked. I mean, he's known me since middle school and he's seen me do some pretty crazy stuff, but I hadn't picked him up until that day. That was a few years ago. I've gotten a bit stronger since then. And actually, he's my buddy that I'm teaching how to kick and how to do some boxing stuff as well, which is really cool. But yeah, this is one pairing that I had thought of. And even on the back, I mean, they would look rather cool on the back. But I think I'm just going to have this guy, because there's no sense in going to the Ren Fair carrying two swords next year when one sword is more than enough to sell the whole costume, you know? But this does give me quite a unique style of sword play if I have this slasher back here, this hack and slash sword, and this thruster up here to kind of occupy their attention and parry and control. This is the Viking bearded axe that I have, the little hand axe that I made. This plus a shield would be pretty good, but it's a one-handed little fighting axe. Done a lot of stuff with this little guy. I don't. I actually took them all to the green dump recently because they were rotting in my backyard for so long. They were getting soft. But I think an hour-ish stream is long enough for this stream. If you guys want to see more of my content, you know what to do. Go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in future videos. I have lots of videos coming of weapons making, weapons testing, armor making, things like that coming out, tool making. I plan on doing an in-person sale here in Ogden here in the next weekend, and there will be more to come on that. So I look forward to seeing you guys in future videos, and thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for hanging out in the stream, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until next time, God bless. Stay sharp out there.